Hello and welcome to another episode of the Opportunity Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Elfrink, head of marketing over here at Empire Flippers. And today I am talking to John Cavendish, the founder of Seller Candy. So John and I have been very good friends for a long time. He lives in Vietnam as well, so we often hang out together. And I thought it'd be cool to get on to just kind of get his perspective on how things are going. So Seller Candy helps you when it comes to dealing with the atrocious policies of Amazon support. So if you're an FBA seller, banging your head against the wall, like how do I even begin to work with Amazon? Seller Candy is a good place for you to go. Now in this interview we talk a bit about Seller Candy, but we also talk about like what is going on in the market in general. So like what are people doing with launches, like what is the general sentiment out there, and John had some answers on that. And we also got into talking about tariffs, like just a little bit like the kind of reactions he's seeing, which is I shared my own thoughts on tariffs a bit of how what we're seeing on the M&A side, which seems like it aligns pretty well with what John had to say. And then we just had a couple of fun tangents about some wild internet marketing friends that we both have in common. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, I got my friend John Cavendish here with me today. John is a legend in the Amazon FBA world with a Seller Candy, one of the founders of it. John, for my audience, I think we had you on not too long ago, but for anyone out there listening who's not familiar with the myth and the legend that is you, why don't you give us a little bit of a background on yourself?
Oh, thank you very much for that introduction, Greg.
$5, John.
Yeah, so I mean, Seller Candy, we launched over 5 years ago now. It seems like time is flying by. But, on the ethos that the worst part about selling on Amazon is dealing with Amazon. If you're a seller, you understand that, maybe not. And then you are the luckiest seller alive. So what we do is we have a service. We have over 30 ex-Amazon experts who used to work in seller support, and we make it so you never need to talk to Amazon again. So you work with Seller Candy, we have our own portal, you log what you want to happen, our team just takes it away, and it's like having your personal seller support agent fix things for you, and you never need to argue with Amazon again.
That's a beautiful elevator pitch. And the Byzantine labyrinth that is Amazon, it's amazing. It seems like the bigger you get, the worse your customer service becomes. Like it just creates a whole cottage industry of people whose whole business is to help you to deal with the mess that is their customer service.
Yeah, I should have you write our marketing, a Byzantine labyrinth.
You like that?
It's a $15 version of what my $2 word version.
All right. We got you up from $5 to $20. Man, this is a hard sell podcast, John. I'm going to be able to buy a few banh mi's by the end of it, I'm sure.
Oh, awesome.
Well, cool, man. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. I want to touch on a bit of what's going on, like the current events with e-commerce as well. And in relation to tariffs, we'll save that juicy stuff till the second half. But with what you do at Seller Candy, tell me a bit about like what are the key differences when someone's launching a product on Amazon these days versus say 2 to 3 years ago? Because things have changed dramatically. Things have gotten a lot more competitive, for sure, much more cutthroat than it used to be even just 2 years ago, in my view. But talk to me a bit how that whole calculus has changed.
Yeah, so I mean, the good thing is we work with sellers who've already got some traction. We tend to work with people who've been selling for, at least 6 months to a year minimum, maybe 2 years, 5 years, who understand the issues and who are still launching products. It's still possible to launch products, but gone are the days where you could scrape together $5,000, find something online, slap a label on it, and launch it. Like it may be possible in nothing is ever impossible. There's always somebody who breaks everything you say and like, oh yeah, this guy just threw up a new garlic press and he's now doing $100,000 a month for some reason.
I love how much of a meme the garlic press is in the FBA world. I was literally just talking to a guy today who does like big private equity stuff, and we were joking about the Amazon FBA garlic presses. It's like reached every level, the meme of the garlic press. But
yeah. I mean, a guy in our community who was one of the biggest garlic press sellers. Do you know him?
Oh yeah. I think we actually sold. I don't know if we sold that guy's version of it, but I think we have definitely sold a few garlic press brands over the years.
Yeah, I met him and I was like, oh, wow, you're the meme. And this was in 2017. I met him. He was in in Dreamplex in Saigon, and he was killing it in garlic presses.
Oh, man.
Still killing it in garlic presses. He sold, I don't know how many units, I could ask him, but I wonder how many hundreds of millions of garlic presses he sold. It's crazy.
I need to get that guy on. I would love to meet a living business meme. I'm sure
Yeah,
he
well,
made a killing with it.
my friend Tom is also a living business meme. If anyone's seen that meme on Facebook ads anywhere, there's the Facebook ads guy who's like dialing it in. He's like twisting the knobs, trying to get everything right, trying to get his ads right, trying to grow it. And then Greg and my friend Tom, I ask him about his Facebook. He's like, women over 40 worldwide. That is his entire chat Facebook targeting. And he wouldn't mind me sharing that because there is nothing special at all about that. But he's the chat. He is the Facebook ads chat meme.
So for the audience context, our mutual friend Tom is kind of like we were just talking about offline, the Hunter S. Thompson of literature. He's probably the Hunter S. Thompson of Facebook ads. A crazy wild dude who is just amazing at that stuff. But to veer the conversation back to the FBA world,
Yeah.
Are you still seeing, like, I know a lot of brands that once they get like established, their main method of growth is just launching more products. Is that still pretty true to this day, or has that changed a bit?
Well, if you want to grow, I mean, if you've maxed out your niche, there's only two things to do. You either launch more products or go to more markets on the Amazon platform, unless you want to go off Amazon. And hopefully people are diversifying, but it's still true that like a product that works on Amazon isn't necessarily going to work off Amazon, in that you're not going to be able to acquire customers profitably because of all these amazing Facebook ads, chads, who are really good by getting your customers and not you. Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you be able to do it when they can buy traffic for their amazing? Is this a PG-13 show? Whatever they're buying traffic for.
This is M&A. It's a rated R show, John.
Okay. Awesome. Whether they're buying for dick pills or whatever they're buying traffic for, they can spend more money than you because the back end of their funnel is funneling them down some never-ending rebill and they can't get a refund for.
This is probably TMI, but I think it's funny. I keep getting these Facebook ads from different accounts. Like, it has like this GIF of little sperm swimming along, and it's talking about like, you need help if you're not ejaculating for more than 5 minutes. And then another ad comes up like, if you are ejaculating for this, like for 5 minutes, you need this app. But it's the same app. And I just think like, what are the dirty black ad affiliates doing with this offer? How many Facebook ad accounts are these guys burning to show me this ad? I almost think it's like one of my friends in the industry just like found a way to scrape my Facebook UID. Just like trolling me with it.
Well, I think the weirdest one I get, I mean, we both live in Vietnam, and Vietnam, Lazada and Shopee are the biggest platforms. Lazada target me with the weirdest stuff on Facebook. Do you get those ads?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because it has the highest click-through rate. So they're optimized for highest click-through. So it's like a mixture of sexy outfits and gay stuff is get the carousel. And I scroll through it to see what's going on. So I'm engaging with it. I'll send you a video. I've got many videos that I do screen grab videos when I see them because I'm like, this is nuts.
So our mutual friend, I think you know him, Tony Brooks, he lives in Bangkok. He also gets these ads, and the ads are even wilder over there. And he always tags me in the ads. So I know I tag him in any weird ad I see. So my Facebook feed, in terms of ads, is like some of the most random, outlandish, obscure stuff. Like some of the stuff is like, one was this random tool for a horse.
Oh, no.
You know, this is like completely like left field. But yeah, so Lazada is a little bit more of the Wild West versus Amazon on that front. In terms of like launching products, well, I guess not launch strategy, but I guess it kind of fits into it a bit with what we were just talking about, not the weird sex outfits, but on the FBA side. What are the launch strategies you see are working right now? You mentioned external stuff doesn't tend to work. Is that still like true? Like no one's sending Facebook ads to their
Amazon? No, I mean that stuff definitely still works. I mean, people launching Amazon products off Amazon, so trying to convert from traffic to their own Shopify site.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is a struggle for sure.
Honestly, I'm not involved in the launch space anymore. You can get better guests on for teaching how to launch products these days.
Well, it sounds like I need to create a course to sell you on it. So next time I ask you that question on this podcast, you'll know. So much opportunity happening on this episode.
I would listen to Isabella Ritz. She's got some great stuff. IntelliRank, they've got some great stuff. I'd Google them and listen to podcasts with Ritz Momentum or IntelliRank, Marcel from there. They both talk about product launching and they're great at that.
No, I'll often get them on the podcast. It's been a while since we did a show on like launching an FBA product and what's going on in there. In terms of what you're seeing sellers do, like maybe not so much in launch, but long-term rankings, and maybe this is where some of the customer support stuff comes in. What are some of the big mistakes sellers are doing?
I think the mistakes are as old as time with everything else. There is Nothing particularly new and special. So, I mean, mistakes people make, not checking all their listings, things being broken. So I had someone on my podcast this morning, and he runs a new monitoring service, and he's like, "Oh, one of our clients has listings in France, and one of their bullets is in English, and they can't get it changed." So I was like, "Oh, introduce them to us. Why haven't you introduced them to us yet?" So he did an intro to us today. But things like that, like as your catalog gets bigger, trying to not get lost and not be lazy. So making sure you're monitoring everything, that nothing's broken, that everything makes sense. That's about it, to be honest. There's no major mistakes that I see. But then again, I'm just on the fixing broken stuff side, not necessarily the, amazing strategy. Our marketing platform isn't, you will make $100,000 in 90 days. We will help you keep more of your money and not screw up and be more profitable.
Within 90 days.
Within 30 days.
30 days.
We're at $100 million offers. It's all about the having the minimum amount of time possible under the line.
Yeah, with the guaranteed risk reversal.
Yeah.
What's like the main problems people come to you with in terms of their support? Is it more of just like, hey, there's nothing that wrong, but I just don't want to deal with Amazon support, so you like take that over? Or walk me through a bit of what your customers are doing.
So a lot of our customers do come with that. So they've got a listing down, they've got an account down. We now do account suspensions. We've expanded. So we do account suspensions, listing suspensions. I've got an issue that I can't solve. It's just been stuck going around in circles. Like Amazon just keeps firing me back stupid templates. And then we do that. They come in, we fix the one thing. And on the back end, we fix loads of other stuff that we find wrong with their account. Because every account has a bunch of crap that people have forgotten or given up on. So that's how we, make lifelong customers, really. We come in, we do one thing, and then we do more. Like the only way people come in if they don't have a single problem, which is obviously a massive leverage pain point to take action now, is if they listen to a podcast like this and they say, "Oh, wow, I've got a couple of VAs. I hate them." No, I don't hate them. I have to manage them. I'm doing everything, and I want someone outcome driven. They're like, "Oh, cool, we should come work with Salad Candy then, because you don't need to manage us. You don't need to train us. You just tell us what you want, and it happens." We're the anti-VA, basically.
In terms of the template thing, like what's the difference between you and the customer? Is it just like your team is more of a bulldog? Is there special connections with Amazon? Like what makes it easier for you guys to get around the template circle of hell versus the other guy?
Easier. Not so much easier, but yeah, as you said, we do best practice. So we know best practice, we know what to say, and we do it aggressively all day, every day. Not aggressively, we don't piss off seller support. It's not the idea. But because we've done it before and we have ex-seller support people, our goal is always to try and circumvent seller support if possible. Like we don't have any contacts on the inside. You will get sued. You will get destroyed by Amazon. But because we know what to do, if we can update it with a feed file and circumvent seller support, if we can call them and get around the first level of seller support, like we're always trying to jump over the hurdles. So actually we do a webinar where we teach how to do that. So there's like 3 steps. First, you've got to do the updates yourself, raise cases, call support, do the action items to fix certain issues. And if you can do that, when you call them, you can basically tell them you've done all the bits they're going to tell you what to do and skip it all. So rather than spending like 2 weeks doing it, you spend 2 days doing it. And we've actually got a webinar on in 2 hours, which won't make any use to your audience who is going to be listening to this. But we run a webinar every couple of weeks. So if you email me, john@sellercandy.com, I'll send you the latest webinar details.
This is completely off topic, but I'm curious if you're getting these. Are you getting in your calendar random webinars that people sign you up for that you didn't register for?
No, but I've heard of that tactic and my friends are all saying we should use it. So maybe you'll be getting someone from me soon.
So I thought maybe I had just signed up for something, but we were on our management chat last night with the team and I brought it up. Like, if it's anyone else getting this, it turns out we're all on the webinar for like some like getting IT service clients with a small podcast. Like, where is this coming from? So the webinar thing made me think of it. I wouldn't recommend you doing it, by the way, John.
Well, apparently LinkedIn's a good way of doing it. So not so much doing that, but apparently you can create a webinar on LinkedIn and then just pump it around LinkedIn. And then you can pump it through like thousands of people. So I've seen people get a really good number of leads through that. Not us personally either.
That might be great, but this is just like showing up, like taking up my Google Calendar slots until I notice, like, wait a second, I didn't sign up for this. What is this webinar? It's the B2B version of the Lazada ads we were talking about earlier, just like completely random, like not even related to our industry.
That sucks. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you could be super targeted, like use Clay or something, or one of the better ones a couple of years ago, some of the guys in the industry who were very like direct responsey, they did one called, it was like a 1 cent PayPal outreach. So
Oh,
you can PayPal drop 1 cent to everybody. And the thing about PayPal is it has 100% deliverability.
right.
You get 100% inbox. Oh, this person sent me a cent. I don't think they, I mean, they're not still doing it. So I doubt it worked completely, but it's fucking great.
I can't see PayPal being thrilled with that outreach strategy.
Well, they get their percentage. PayPal are just absolute. I hate PayPal.
I do as well. They're the
Honey, they own Honey. Do you see the Honey thing on YouTube? The Honey
oh
documentary.
yeah, yeah, the honey
Like
scam.
PayPal owns Honey. It's crazy.
Oh, PayPal is crazy, man, because they act like a bank when it suits them, but when it doesn't, they're like, "Oh, we're not a bank. We have those rules."
Yeah, we take 5% to deposit your money,
Right?
and we don't have any customer support. It's great.
Yeah. You need to create a seller candy division for PayPal. I think that's the next expansion move for you.
All Facebook ads.
Ooh, that you're not going to get through on the Facebook.
Well, that was my when I was thinking about other verticals that would suit the same business model. Yeah, Facebook ads and maybe PayPal. But Facebook ads is continuously driving you nuts. It's also got loads of technical stuff and it keeps changing. Like we could be setting stuff up and then we could also be just arguing with them.
Yeah, I actually got a $500 ad credit from Facebook because they told me I was wrong on the ad thing. I was like, it's literally not that, it's this. And eventually they saw that I was right, and they go, sorry
Oh,
for
great.
wasting.
They wasted $6,000 of my money
Yeah.
last year, and without the right targeting, and they wouldn't give it back. So wasted $6,000 of nothing.
So back to seller candy. It says you deal with a lot of suspensions. What are some of the like most common things that people do that get their account suspended?
Well, the common like legit things or illegitimate things. So we can only help people if they've done legitimate things to get their account suspended. And it's, the most annoying things are things like linked accounts, which they don't have linked accounts. Like Amazon's linked it to someone else's account somehow, and this has got taken down. So it's legitimate as in they haven't done anything wrong, but it's really annoying for them and for anyone else. What else? Like, to be honest, you can't do anything legitimate to get your account shut down. It's when Amazon screws around, like says, oh, you've got too high returns or something's gone wrong or something like that. Illegitimate things. I mean, there's so many illegitimate things you can do. Having too many accounts and not telling Amazon, selling the same products on multiple accounts. Drop shipping. I mean, drop shipping's the big one, especially all the companies that were selling those investment opportunities in the last couple of years of like, we will manage your drop shipping account for you. Give us a credit card.
Those are the done for you FBA stores, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of account violation, so I had this guy on a few weeks ago talking about reviews, like negative review attacks. Do you see much of that, like third-party people attacking the seller listing to try to get their account suspended?
Not particularly. No, ourselves, not really that much. I actually had on our podcast this morning was Danon from Ecom Triage, who's doing negative review removal now. So he's the guy to talk to if somebody does that. They've got a bunch of, I don't know, GPTs or software that go through and look for weird patterns and things like that, because there are so many weird patterns with people leaving negative reviews. Like Amazon should be able to track that stuff because there's patterns in all those people that do the negative review attacks and they're dodgy accounts.
Well, that's what my buddy that I had on pod a few weeks ago has as well. He just tracks their fingerprints. So I was in Phoenix and I met my buddy's girlfriend. She works for Amazon. She's like kind of a corporate detective that goes around looking at all the fraud stuff, but she does usually bigger fraud than just like the review stuff. But it sounds like it's another one of those weird cottage industries. So I was wondering if that affected you at all. I could see some accounts getting violated by by these like internet Amazon gangsters, I guess, because some of them are actually like legit criminals.
I mean, they are legit criminals. I mean, it's criminal and they're costing a lot of money. So, I mean,
yeah,
more criminal than downloading movies or, I mean, stealing from a corner shop. It's more criminal than that.
I 100% agree. In terms of, so we'll get into the tariffs after this question because I do want to pick your brain a bit on what you're seeing out there. But in terms of proactive steps that people can take to monitor their like account health issues, like you mentioned, like as you grow, you just naturally forget things. Like it's a lot different playing the game at one SKU versus 500 SKUs, right? So what are some of like steps someone can take outside of just like reaching out to you, obviously, but maybe something that they can do before they reach out to you when they realize how annoying to do it actually is.
So, I mean, monitoring their listings, if they want to do that, they can use software. There's a bunch of providers out there. SentryKit, Ecom Triage. I think AMZ Alerts is such a shutdown last week or 2 weeks ago, so don't use them. But yeah, there's a bunch of
on the podcast.
Sorry?
Bad timing for us to give them a free mention on the podcast.
That's all right. Don't use them. Apparently they shut down. So yeah, monitor your listings. Monitoring your account, just make sure you're checking it or you've got a VA checking it, and just checking account health. Check your account health score. Oh, and just launching now, there's an insurance product. It's like a real insurance product for account monitoring. So account suspension insurance and also ASIN suspension insurance. It's called Seller Defender. It's by Assureful, who actually is probably the people you should have your Amazon account insurance from too, because it's mandatory. So if you get the mandatory assurance from Assureful, and they have a product called Seller Defender. And that product is basically insurance against account suspension and ASIN suspension.
So how does that work? I have a friend who's gotten their listing suspended, no fault of her own. It's just like it looks like almost a programmatic issue by Amazon, but she lost tons of revenue from it. And who knows if she'll get her beginning ranking back. So how does that work?
So the current product isn't revenue insurance. It's just insurance against getting it taken down. So you get immediate support getting it back up. So they pay for us. For Seller Candy. So we are the delivery partner.
So you're literally the insurance payout.
We're the payout. We aren't the insurer. They're a real insurance. Lloyd's of London underwrite them. They're a real insurance product. But if something goes down, they call us same day. We get it fixed.
That's a heck of a BD partnership right there. That's pretty cool. Do you see that happen pretty often? As a lot of customers come through from that?
Well, it's a new product launched like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So right. Yes, it's going to happen pretty often. But, they're just launching right now. But Assureful's a massive company, like a massive 8-figure insurance company. So it's going to be like a significant product in the future.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Assureful. Actually, our director of sales, he left to go work for them.
Alex works. Yeah, Mr. Champagne.
Mr. Champagne himself.
Popping bottles. Yeah.
Before we get into the tariff stuff, I do want to ask actually one final question. So with what you're saying, like you're the anti-VA, like if someone hires Seller Candy, like realistically, how much time are they saving? Because that's always something front of mind for sellers, right?
Yeah. So, it depends how much time they're spending dealing with seller support. Like if they're a growing seller, some sellers spend half their time or half of a person's time, hopefully not their time. If they're growing, they've got a team member dealing with seller support. And what it allows them to do is rather have that person who they're paying paying a lot of money to, hopefully, because they got someone good, they can give it to us. And because we do one thing, we're a lot more cost effective and efficient, and we get better results because we've focused on it. So say somewhere between 30 minutes a day and 4 hours a day, depending on what you're doing.
So that's pretty significant then. I assume you would be, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe this wouldn't be the case, but you consider yourself cheaper than them training up and having a VA kind of like going through your processes, or how do you view that?
I'd say the same cost. It really depends on how good your VA is. Like now
when
AI, well, no, seriously. Now when AI exists, hopefully none of my VAs, I don't have any VAs. We have employees, but no one that I've employed in the past as a VA listens to this. But any VA who's at, rank and file mediocrity, they say rank and file in the Philippines. I don't like it, but is going to be replaced by AI in the next 2 years. So there is only room for excellence. So I think we all need to be paying more. And anyone who's employed from somewhere, even the Philippines or somewhere, knows that high quality people are not cheap, not as cheap as they were. If you're paying less than $1,200 a month, you're not going to get someone excellent. Good people earn $2,000-3,000 a month easy.
Yeah, I was just talking to another guy today. He was asking me about like Google Ads freelancer. I was like, well, what's the budget? And they're like, oh, is that important? Because they didn't want to go with an agency because they felt like that would be more expensive. I was like, well, yeah, pretty important because like they're not running at least like 10K a month in Google Ads. It's kind of like pointless for what they're trying to do. And they're going to have to pay like at least a 2K a month retainer, most likely, for someone that's good. They're like, oh, that expensive? Like, yeah, this marketing's not free.
But the thing about ads is you're looking for results. Like you're trying to save money on one side to probably waste insane amounts of money on the other side.
Oh, dude, totally. Like I get why marketing is viewed as such a cost center, but it's also like the fuel for growth. And a lot of people like switch that up in their heads. But anyways, that's off track. I do want to get into the tariff talks. I know we're going to be running out of time here shortly, but with your audience that you have, like you see a lot of things that's going on in the seller communities. Like, have you seen reactions from your clients about the tariffs? Anything that's come up? Like, talk to me about what's going on there.
Yeah. I mean, one thing people, everyone's slowed down.
Yeah.
So in terms of slow down for like signing up for things, slow down for doing deals, like all my friends in the industry are saying that, it's all our service providers, just lead flow has slowed down. Doesn't affect our clients, but lead flow slowed down because everyone is waiting to see what happens. Good thing is, what's it, 2 days ago now, whenever this comes out, but 2 days ago, they suspended the tariffs for 3 months and they're down to 30%. So
Yeah.
all good. Well, mostly that's good. I think that's all stomachable now. The problem, as you said, is everyone sees marketing as a cost center. So when things go bad, they stop spending on marketing. And the only way to make a self-fulfilling prophecy fulfilled is to stop spending money on marketing. If you think your business is going to go down, so you stop spending money on marketing, it's 100% going to go down now because you're not spending money on marketing, especially in a business which like Amazon, where it's direct results, like direct response marketing. Basically, you pay money for a click, which converts to a sale. Then there's not much long tail on that.
Yeah, dude. Like in any downturn, like marketing is the first thing to get cut usually. And that's usually when like, okay, the downward vicious cycle of bankruptcy has begun because you like killed your growth engine, right? You're not saying you can't recover. Of course you can, but it's much tougher when you like turn off the machine and kill the momentum, right?
Yeah, I mean, marketing and professional development are the first things that people cut. So yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. You're to hear first, folks. In terms of like, so just to give you my perspective, I agree from a service provider perspective. Like, so for us, like deals that we're going through suddenly got crushed because of it. Not just in the Amazon space, but DTC in general, like any e-commerce deal we had, they got crushed or heavily delayed. And now there's like some rekindling of some of those deals as a few days ago with that news. But yeah, it does feel like we're in like a wait and see kind of environment. No one really knows what's going to happen, which I think is fair. I just did a YouTube video a couple weeks ago that came out that was also saying like no one knows what's going to happen. Like who knows in terms of planning. But have you seen any of your clients like look at this and be like, okay, like I'm too reliant on China, I need to like outsource or source from a different market? Are you seeing that kind of transition at all?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I mean, everyone's looking at that now, and a lot of them are looking at that before. Yeah, I mean, I would suggest everyone go and lowball everyone on the Empire Flippers marketplace and see who wants to get see who wants to get out.
Dude, we have so many businesses. Every time there is any kind of catastrophe from one of the big tech giants, I call them the tech daddies that everyone's business relies on, right? There's usually one tech daddy everyone has. Like if you're an affiliate, it was SEO with Google, right? FBA, obviously Amazon. E-commerce tends to be Shopify, though they tend to be like a decent one, as troublesome. But like every time there's like a apocalyptic algorithm change or whatever, we get this flood of businesses like, all right, guys, now I'm ready to sell. Like, dude, your business doesn't make anything now. Where were you a few months ago? But yeah, so we'll probably see a rush of them.
Nice. Tech daddies. I think that's a new phrase I will coin.
I think I was inspired by Tom with that jargon.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would say.
But yeah, so I do think actually it can be a pretty good time for someone to buy an e-commerce store if you can stomach like the chaos. Like you probably can get really good deals. Like in terms of like, in fact, I know you can like inherently just do better deal structures, but it's way riskier, right? Which is part of why the deal structure can be much more attractive. But yeah, are you seeing anything else that like one of the other things, I don't know if you've seen this, but one of the things I've seen is like FBA entrepreneurs say they were selling primarily in the UK or Europe. They were thinking about expanding to America, but now they just like shut off that expansion. Are you seeing that as well?
We don't have that many people who would be doing that right now. Say if 30% of our clients, 20% are in the UK or Europe, then, I don't know of anyone who's currently in the middle of that expansion.
Gotcha. Yeah. The ones I've seen, they basically just kind of froze themselves in place to where they were before they launched. All right, Matt. Well, before we get into the rapid fire section here, I do want to ask, what is your number one piece of advice you'd give to US based sellers with everything that's going on in 2025? It could be related to the tariff drama or anything else. Like, what would you recommend for them to do?
Back to business fundamentals. I've been saying the same thing for the last 3 years, probably. So, check how much cash you've got, check you're making money on your P&L, carry on spending on marketing. Yeah, just make sure you've got enough cash. Like with anything, as long as you've got 3 months worth of burn in your bank account, it makes you feel a lot better about your business. It's crazy when you see people's P&Ls. Like I see a bunch of P&Ls and not P&L, but the balance sheet and how much cash they're holding. And it just scares me. I'd rather have 3 months worth of spend. And then, although maybe that cash could be put to better use, sometimes having a buffer gives me sanity. I guess also if you've got a line of credit, but I tend to be pretty on the cautious side.
I think 3 months is ultra reasonable. I sometimes even would say 6 months is pretty reasonable at times. So that starts getting long in the tooth with everything. But yeah, the P&Ls, like we see the P&Ls too. And the thing that's always surprising to me, I can sum it up the best with one of our buyers from a few years ago. He was buying up a bunch of FBA businesses from us. He told me, I love Amazon FBA sellers. They're all young, making tons of money, and they're all completely broke because they had like no idea how to like manage their P&L. So they'll have these like super high amount of revenue, and then it'll come through our vetting process where we like build the P&L for them. They're like, oh, I'm not making nearly as much money as I thought. So that's often one of the first like stark realizations of reality when they come into our pipeline.
Yeah, love it. It's great. I mean, if those guys know how to strip it out and make more money, that's great. At the same time, a few years ago, everyone was thinking that, all these smart finance bros, and then they realized they couldn't, and they screwed it all up.
So this was before those guys came in. So this guy, he was a very smart buyer, and the multiples were much lower. But yeah, those guys that came in much later with the MBA degrees from Wharton, I remember talking to one, like, why are you making an offer on this? He's like, oh, because we know this other person, this other aggregator made an offer. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. Like, what? How the hell did you raise like tens of millions of dollars if this is like your due diligence? This like literally cannot end well,
Yeah. And it didn't. Ended very
It
badly.
didn't. No, it popped very hard. Thrasio is still in the news with the death throttle, dead cat bounce that they're doing. Well, cool, man. Let's get into the rapid fire section because I know you got a meeting to go to, and I have one as well. So, in your view, what is the best hidden growth opportunity from your viewpoint on selling on Amazon right now?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a good question. I mean, I would be looking at, I'm not trying to grow. I'm personally not in the growth side of Amazon, but I would say follow good people. I would look at Amazon posts, Amazon influencers, see if they are giving the traction people want. DSP, a lot more people are doing DSP now. You go to the AMZ Pathfinder, they do DSP. But yeah, if you're not doing DSP, talk to some DSP people. I think that would be the thing.
Well, I think the correct answer probably would have been hiring Seller Candy to take some of the load off your mental bandwidth of dealing with Amazon customer service.
Every answer, hire Seller Candy. Yeah, for sure. I mean, hire Seller Candy if you're making money, because who wants to be doing all of that stuff you don't want to do?
All right, round two for self-promotion, John. What tools or resources can help people optimize their Amazon business?
Seller Candy is probably number one. I would say you should obviously check out Seller Candy. Tools and resources. There's some really good AI-based listing optimization stuff now. I like ZonGuru's AI tools. Always base your entire business on AI, but the way that they can they can scrape your listing, scrape all of your competitors, and tell you which keywords are missing and how much more you'd index for based on inputting those keywords into your listing. That's awesome. I would use that tool.
So I have a secret rapid fire question just made me think of before we get to the actual final rapid fire question. And this doesn't have to be a rapid fire answer. I'm curious on where you're going with it because you've been running Seller Candy for several years. Like, what do you think is the future like in store for Seller Candy? Like, what do you want to do with it?
Good question. Like, AI will come into certain things, but not so much into everything we do because we actually make it easier for sellers. You know what I mean? So if this insurance product goes crazy, that's going to be great for Seller Candy because we'll be riding on the coattails of that, and also making sure they do an amazing job of the actual delivery part of it. Seller Candy is a business. I mean, Amazon's going to continue messing up. We're just going to continue doing the good work of the Lord.
Right on. So continued growth is normal, focusing on the business fundamentals, like you mentioned earlier, is kind of like your game plan with Seller Candy.
Yeah, I mean, just do better business.
If only the aggregators understood that principle. Back in the day.
Some of them made really good money. If they got out at the right time, some of them made some real money.
Oh, yeah. I had a friend, the way he raised, every time he raised, he had a clause where he would take some money for himself with the investor. I forget what that agreement is called. It's like chips off the table clause, basically.
Oh, good. How much he took off?
I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, well enough that when everything popped, he was like, chill. You know?
Well, how much is that? When you think you're going to make 50 mil and you make 500K, that would suck.
Well, at the 50 mil, you've diluted your equity so much, you know? So like if you're walking away with 5 mil, like call it a good day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take it 5. Yeah, I'll take it. Get me in.
All right, my final rapid fire question, and this is the hardest question. I think you've answered it before, so maybe you'll be prepared for it. What has been your funniest moment working in the Amazon industry?
Funniest moment. I don't know if I answered this question before. I probably gave the same answer, but it's still my funniest moment.
We'll compare notes.
Okay. So one of the first clients I ever worked with as a consultant, like 7 years ago, I was selling them. I was doing a sales call with them. This was back when I was selling full service Amazon account management and doing the research of figuring out what their product would be. And they sold oil for firearms in the US. So, main keyword, gun oil. So turns out, I don't know if you know this. I didn't know this before. It's not my hobby, but that's a hobby. Gun oil is the largest brand of male silicone lubricant. So whenever you search for gun oil, it has an amazing mixture of firearm lubrication and gay lube. And it's just listing by listing, one after the other. And I was like, I don't know how we can fix this. Anyway, I gave him a good presentation, showed him all of the competitors to his product. He was like a pretty right-wing American. He wasn't that into it. And
pretty divided intent on the keyword.
Yeah, mixed intent keyword. Yeah, that was there. Lots of funny ones, but that was my favorite ones. We've also had other clients who've had sex products mixed in with their products, which is always pretty fun.
That's fantastic. I love that. It's like the cowboy stuff. Like you'll see a dude who's like tripped out in cowboy gear, like ultra machismo, and then there's like the gay cowboy, right? Like just stay side by side.
Oh, it's great. You see the Andrew Tate one?
Bottom G, right?
Bottom G, that's great. That was awesome. When Andrew Tate was out and was being featured everywhere, Bottom G was hilarious.
Bottom G. For anyone in the audience, if you like internet memery, go on Instagram or TikTok and find Bottom G. That is hilarious. Our friend Agni, I always call him Middle G because he looks a little bit like both of them, but
like an Indian Andrew Tate, like an Indian Andrew Tate.
Yeah, if you're like squinting your eyes, he's like Andrew Tate or Bottom G, you know. But he's just a completely normal guy, so he has like the worst outcome of all three of them. Like the other two have reached internet stardom, you know. Well, cool, man. Well, it's always a pleasure catching up with you, man. Maybe we can get on, share some case studies or something like that with your seller support stuff on our blog. That'd be really cool to give like more in-depth stuff to our audience about what you're doing. But if anyone wants to pick your brain or check out if Seller Candy can help them out, where's the best places for us to send them?
So actually, if you want to have some resources to actually follow along our process of what we do and how we do it, we've got a really good guide we've put together, which is kind of guide based on the last 5 years of stuff of how to do it step by step. A load of resources of how to deal with seller support. You can check that out if you head to sellercandy.academy rather than .com. .com is our website, .academy is the download. If you're interested in seeing what Seller Candy can do from you, you can go to sellercandy.com and book a call. That way you can talk to Kelly on our team. He's amazing. He will see any particular issues you have and dive deep into them. Or if you want to go out with me, you just email me at john@sellercandy.com. Afraid I have a wife and baby, but if you want to hang out platonically, always happy to.
I'm also happy if anyone wants to email me to coach you on how to become a platonic friend with John. I'm happy to do that. You just have to buy one 7-figure business from me. Very cheap.
7-figure business. What's your margin? 15%?
Hey, man, you just use like some risky, no money down strategies. No problem.
Seller financing. I'd like 110% seller financing in this market, please.
Why stop at 110?
Not greedy.
But John, it's always a pleasure to have you on board. I love your business. I think it's like such a solid thing to like help people out, like give them like peace of mind, not having to deal with arguably one of the more annoying parts, if not the most annoying part, running an FBA business. So I highly recommend, John, for anyone listening, if you run an FBA business, hit them up. And John, absolute pleasure, my friend.
Oh, thanks. Always pleasure, Greg.
There you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it got you inspired. at all the different things that are happening in this industry. And of course, if you just want to buy a highly profitable business, you can always go to empireflippers.com/marketplace, or maybe you want to make an exit of your highly profitable business, and you could go to empireflippers.com/sell your site. I've been your host, Greg. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a review, give us a like, a follow, share it across social media. Talk to you all soon. See you on the next episode.